boys and girls. Today I'm going to read you a story about punctuation. You've done a really good job understanding the difference between question marks, periods, exclamation points. There are other types of punctuation marks too that help us with our reading and our intonation. We've been working on intonation this week, and intonation is how we talk, how we speak our words. It gives us expression, and punctuation helps us with intonation and expressing the words on the page. Helps tell us how we read things. So, this book is called Punctuation Takes a Vacation. We're going to see what happens when punctuation goes away. Do you think something will happen if punctuation disappears for a little while? What do you think will happen in the writing or the reading? Let's find out. Day after day, the punctuation marks showed up in Mr. Wright's classroom. Day after day, they did their jobs. They put up with being erased and replaced and corrected and ignored and moved around. Then, on the hottest, stickiest day the class had ever seen, right in the middle of a lesson about commas, Mr. Wright mopped his forehead and said, "Let's give punctuation a vacation." As the kids cheered and headed for the playground to cool off, the punctuation marks stared at one another in disbelief. Yippee! Huh? We're gonna go on vacation? Is this the thanks we get? Asked a question mark. Well, huffed an exclamation point. Now, said a comma. We should take a vacation, said a period. They'll soon learn how much they need us. It's 11 o'clock now, said a colon. Let's leave at 11:02. Great, said an exclamation point. Don't leave without us, yelled the apostrophes. Whoosh! Punctuation rushed out the door. Whoosh! They rushed back in to grab the quotation marks, who were too busy talking to pay attention. Yakety yak, blah, blah, blah. Quotations marks' job is to show people to talk in writing. They're too busy talking to leave. They would have to get their friends to come get them. When Mr. Wright's class returned from the playground, they couldn't wait to find out what happened in Chapter 4 of their book, Ace Scooper, Dog Detective. Mr. Wright opened his mouth to read aloud, but then he stopped and stared. He's noticing something about the book. Do you notice anything about our book on this page? What does he see? This is weird. The punctuation is missing. Uh-oh, where could it be? Yikes, maybe punctuation took a vacation. We are in big trouble now. Was that easy to understand, me read? It's missing something that will help me as the reader read that more clearly. What is it missing? Punctuation marks, that's right. It was tricky to read that whole paragraph without stopping or pausing or giving expression. I wasn't sure how to read those words. I didn't see any punctuation. Mr. Wright was right. Nothing made sense without punctuation. A couple days later, the school secretary delivered a small bundle of postcards to Mr. Wright's class. They were postmarked, "Take a break, Lake." Do you miss us? How much? Why couldn't we take a vacation sooner? Guess who? So if those are all question sentences, who wrote that postcard? The question mark. We flop, we plop, we stop. We stay put in our lounge chairs. We are happy thinking our complete thoughts. Thoughtfully yours, sentence stoppers. Do you remember who the sentence stoppers are? That's right, they are called periods. Dear friends, swimming, sailing, sunning, soaring, water skiing. Next time we must remember bug spray, toothpaste, flashlight, water shoes. Sincerely, the list makers. So there's a special punctuation mark that is used to make lists, and that is on this postcard here. Can you see what mark is in there? Commas. Commas are used to make lists. Greetings to Mr. Wright's class. This postcard doesn't take the place of a letter. If anybody takes the place of a letter, that's us. It's our job. We know we're possessive, but that's the way we are. Don't forget to write us while we're gone. Substitutes. The apostrophes are used in contraction words like that's, don't, writes, doesn't, where, it's another one. A big hello from Vacation Paradise, where the water is as clear as a well-punctuated sentence. We talk all day, we talk all night, too busy talking to write anymore. The yakety yaks. Those are the quotation marks to show people are talking in text. Kids, writing this on schedule at 1:15. Yummy lunch at 11:55. Going swimming at 3 o'clock sharp. The timekeepers. Those are the colons. Those are the 2 dots in between the hour and the minutes when we read time. They also can be used to start something like kids, and it means 2. Wow, what a ride. You should try tubing. Scary, fun, yikes, hold on. We want mommy. Emotional us. So which mark shows strong emotion? That's right, exclamation point. The kids guessed who wrote the postcards and they wanted to write back, but they couldn't write back without punctuation. The best they could do was borrow some from Mr. Rongo's class next door, where punctuation seemed to be running wild. Dear, punctuation, please come back. We need you. We miss you too. Life at school is difficult. Without you, we can't do reading, writing, or riddles. Without punctuation, chapter 4 of our book, Ace Scooper does not make sense. We will never take punctuation 4 granted again. Won't you please come back before 10:00 on Friday? Mr. Wright says, punctuation, please come home. Sincerely, Mr. Wright's class. Wow, that was hard to read and messy. Those punctuation marks were in the wrong spots. Do you see how that made reading difficult? Punctuation, take a break, Lake. Urgent, hurry, Mr. Wright's class. They really need their friends back to help them learn how to write and use punctuation. So the punctuation marks returned to Mr. Wright's classroom to do the jobs only they could do. Mr. Rongo's unruly punctuation scrambled back to their own classroom. We have so much to tell you. Who did you miss the most? It's good to be back in Mr. Wright's class. Commas, periods, exclamation points, question marks, colons, apostrophes, quotation marks. Take your places. 10 a.m. Time to study us. Hooray for punctuation. The end. That was easier to read. Here are the punctuation rules. Quotation marks belong at the beginning and end of words a person speaks. The question mark comes at the end of a question. Use a comma to separate each item in a series or a list. A comma also separates 2 complete thoughts in a sentence. Use an exclamation point after a word or sentence that expresses strong feelings. An apostrophe takes the place of a letter and changes 2 words into 1 word. An apostrophe is used with the letter S to show ownership or possession. So if I said, Mrs. Perlman's son, my son belongs to me, that would be an apostrophe S, Perlman's, right? Or sometimes we use it to take place of letters, like in the word don't. Don't is short for do not. So don't is D-O-N apostrophe T. All right, we have two more to talk about on this page. The colon lets you know what time it is. It separates the big guys, the hours, from the little guys, the minutes. And the period is the stop sign at the end of a sentence or complete thought. It is also used in abbreviations. Like we could say, Wednesday is W-E-D period. That's an abbreviation. Punctuation marks work together to make reading and writing flow smoothly. Mr. Wright said, "Thank you very much," when we gave him a t-shirt from Take a Break Lake. Did anybody find my missing flip-flop? Where, oh where could it be? That's question mark's flip-flop. I didn't know. It's in my suitcase. I collected shells, stones, blisters, pine cones, feathers, and bug bites. It was fun, but I am so tired. That's what Comma said, and Comma made a list. Gosh, it's 2:15. Time to return the library book I took on vacation. Hey, look! Great photos of us at Take a Break Lake. This photo is of me. I stopped 2 sentences from crashing into each other at the corner of Bay Street and Lake Avenue. So all the different punctuation marks share something about their vacation. And their sentence has to do with their job. I hope you enjoyed this story. The next activity, you're going to do a special job with commas.